Every time I see somebody prescribing this stretch to fix a shoulder, it makes me want to do this. Now, a lot of the times the shoulders are going to feel tight, like they need to be stretched, and those muscles, bicep tendon, rotator cuff, pecs, or whatever, they're probably trying to stabilize something or protect something. So before you start stretching your shoulder, you need to make sure there's a few pieces involved or in place before you start to do anything else. So for today's video, I'm going to show you a nice simple exercise to get that extension and rotation through the rib cage, through the thoracic spine, and get that retraction in the shoulder back in order to get that hand behind back. We need to make sure we have adequate thoracic spine rotation. So we need to see about 45 to 50 degrees in both directions. If we can't get that rotation, we need to fix that first. So a very simple exercise we're going to use, we're going to get a foam roller, med ball, whatever, something to lock your leg up onto. Now, we need to make sure that that hip is past 90 degrees so we don't end up rotating through our lower back. That's exactly where we don't want it. If your arm is comfortable here, to get that arm overhead, great. If not, you can rest it here or you can use something underneath your head. So we're gonna grab those lower ribs. You're gonna take a breath, and when you exhale, you're gonna lift them up towards the ceiling. Now, I'm pulling my shoulder in my back pocket to keep that, to open up the chest here. I want to think about pulling my right shoulder into my left back pocket. And most important, keep this locked on. I don't want to see this lifting off, because if this is lifting, then you might end up rotating through your lower back. So we're going to do about 10 to 20 breath, lift, rotate. And your neck should be nice and free. If you can't rotate the neck, you might be shrugging. So we're going to increase that rotation, and you'll start to feel the shoulder come down to the ground. Now, if you feel like you're almost towards the ground, then we have the option to do these scap openers here. You can pull a band if you want, but start with that thoracic rotation before we start doing that. I'll go back and check to see that extension rotation of the shoulder, and notice how much less stretch is going on in there, and you didn't have to punish those tissues and force them into ranges that they didn't really want to go into. So if that cleared it up, then obviously the biceps, pecs, or whatever was toning up to protect the shoulder to try and stabilize and control it. If you want to know more about how to address the shoulder and assess it correctly and move through progressions in a hierarchy, you head over to tomswells.com, look at the shoulder health workshop, and it goes over how to go through cervical spine, check the neurological, go through the 7 principal pillars of shoulder health, that being the breath, grip, posture, thoracic spine mobility, scapular stability, core and pelvis, then the glenohumeral joint. So it's really the last part on the list, or the last piece on the list, that you need to actually address. If those other pillars aren't in place, then the shoulder just becomes this hypermobile joint that just guards. And for my Embodia friends, you can head over to embodia.com and pick up the Ultimate Shoulder and Health Rehab Program.